Does anyone here feel like they have way too much time on their hands? Nobody? Well, then I am in the right room. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Rebecca Silva, and my speech today is how to make the best use of your time. Because I have been struggling with this recently, just knowing what to say no to, balancing so many things. When you have too much on your plate, you start getting stressed out and frustrated, and sometimes you end up not doing anything that you have on your to-do list just because you freeze. So I decided to take a break, pause, and research a little bit on time management and learn a couple things to help me. So as I preach, mostly to myself here tonight, hopefully these things that I have found out will also be of help to you. Sometimes I feel like there is this little clock. I see a cartoony clock in the back of my mind with this smug little grin on his face that keeps telling my subconscious, time is going by, it's going by faster and faster, you're getting older, so much to do, so little time, and it is very annoying, and it is one of the biggest wastes of my time to just be frantically worrying about that my time is going through my fingers like sand and I'll never be able to recover it. So in order to live a less stressed life, you have to have a plan. Here are 4 steps in order to get a plan and to be less stressed and live a more fulfilled life. I do have handouts at the end, so you don't have to take notes if you don't want to. Step number 1 is be mindful. So I guess we are all aware that time is one of the most valuable things we have and that it is fleeting. It waits for no man. So we need a plan. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. 10 years of your life will not flash by in the blink of an eye if you are intentional, if you know what you're doing, and you have planned it out. Step number 2 is to start creating this plan. A lot of people will take and start writing out this overwhelming to-do list of things that have to be done right now, and will get overwhelmed and end up wasting time doing something else because it's just too overwhelming. What I have learned this week is to start with the big picture. So you want to start with a panoptic, I don't know if that's a broader view of what you want your life to look like. So the way I did this was I took several sheets of paper and I have 3 major categories. And what you want to write down is not how to get there, you just want to write down what you want that to look like. So first category is character, and I wrote it out. So character, what kind of person do you want to become? And then you're going to write out all the traits that you would like to see in yourself. The second category is relationships. So what kind of relationships do you want to have? What kind of energy do you want to put into them? What does it feel like? What experience do you want to feel in your relationships? And then the third one is a much more broad category, which is personal growth. So personal growth is what areas would you like to see grow? How are you going to become a more valuable person, happier, less stressed? So for example, I have health, academic, career, finance, those types of things. And so do not write how to. In health, you don't want to write out, I am going to work out every day for an hour. With the big picture, what you want to do is write out, I want to feel fit, healthy, strong, I want to look a certain way. That is what you're looking to write down with the big picture. And step 3 is to break it down into goals, yearly and then monthly goals. And then every first of the month, you have to sit down and focus in on your goals, where you're going, and what you have to do that month in order to be on your way to accomplishing your yearly and eventually the goals that you want for your life. And these always help you to keep focused when you get down to the nitty-gritty daily stuff. Once you have this plan, it can change. So every first of the month when you are reviewing your goals, that is also the time where you can make adjustments if your priorities have changed. And then step 4, the daily grind, break it down. The key here is to break it down into very simple how-to steps. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you want to take what you have to do that month, separate it into weeks, and then every day, in order to stay focused on these goals, what I have learned to do, and I am going to start doing now, is every night you want to write down the 3 most important things you have to do the next day. So if you don't do anything else, what are the 3 main things you have to do? That'll help you go to bed and wake up with your goals in mind. As soon as you wake up, review your goals and write down your to-do list. And the to-do list is the exact opposite of the big picture. So the to-do list, you want to get it as specific as possible. Don't write down, clean your room. Write down, put the socks away. Clean the mirrors. Make your bed. Because then it's not monstrous. You see a little task and you say, oh, I can do that. And you go do it immediately and check it out. So that is a daily grind. And as you start doing this, as you start being more aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it, you're going to start asking yourself questions. So your thumb is going to find Facebook by itself, and you won't know how it did that. And you'll be looking at your phone going, how did I get here? And why am I doing this? This is not helping me to become the person that I want to be. And then you'll start having arguments, your more intelligent side of yourself with the pettier side of yourself. And eventually the petty side of yourself will start blushing and not doing it anymore because you'll see that it's not what you want for your life. What really helps is, most of you might have seen this before, it's Steve Covey's graph from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's just a chart that helps you keep in mind priorities. So you want to be living and doing things that are not urgent and important. And examples of what is not urgent and important is exercise, planning, that type of thing, reading. This is a necessary evil. You have to take care of crying baby, kitchen fire, some calls. They're urgent and they're important. What you want to minimize is the urgent and not important. These are deceptive things, interruptions, distractions, some calls that look important because they have a deadline and people are bothering you to get that done, but sometimes it doesn't align with your end goal. So you want to minimize this and never do this, which is not urgent and not important. If you haven't seen this, I advise you to look for it and to also read his book because it is very good. So in review, be mindful, get the big picture, define your goals, and then to stay motivated on your day-to-day, daily grind, I'm going to leave you with this quote that I really love by Benjamin Franklin, who was a guru of time management. If you love life, do not waste time, for that is the stuff life is made of. Thank you.
Her speeches are always full of wisdom, and I learn, at my age, I even learn from her so much. I thought her speech was informative, her topic was very relevant. The intro, she started with a question in the intro, and that was a very catchy question. It was a funny question. It grabbed our attention right away, and we knew exactly what she was going to talk about in the rest of her speech. I thought she conveyed, she used body language well in the beginning to convey the idea of how stressed we get about managing time. So that body language definitely conveyed that stress, and it was consistent with the verbal message that she was giving. I liked her use of her thumb reaching out to our smart device for Facebook. That was very conveying. I liked how she broke down her speech and the advice she gave for setting monthly goals, breaking it down to daily tasks. And the only thing I thought that could improve her speech is if she moved away more from the podium and maybe even towards the audience. I know this is something that I have to work on as well myself. I often find myself hiding behind the podium, and I think speeches would be a lot more effective if people move towards the audience a little bit more. So that's something that could have helped as well. And I would have liked to see some more maybe personal examples from time management solutions that were adopted. And finally, a great comment on her speech is I actually learned the difference between urgent and important. My son has been talking about that for a long time and I just didn't get it, but with Rebecca's examples, I got it. Working out is important but not urgent. And so thank you very much for a great speech.